Hi, welcome to Joanna's DIY Life. On this channel, I like to do a little bit of everything. Today, we're going to be working on some bee-themed home decor crafts. For this first one, I have this beehive I got from the Dollar Tree, this decal that I cut out on my silhouette, and transfer tape was from Craftopia. Then I have this little plaque that I got from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to cut the tag off. And I'm going to try to take this paper off. So, most of them come off easy, okay? I didn't want to use the back because it's chipped. So, I'm going to try to take this paper off the front. And I saw where it was coming up in a spot and thought, yeah, this would be easy. But, wait till you see this, okay? Just wait for it. This was not easy, people. I don't recommend. Look at this mess. It's soaking wet. But I did get it dried out after I let it sit overnight and calm my little patience down. And I gave it a coat of white chalk paint. Now I'm going to set that aside to dry, and I'm going to work on this little guy. So I am going to take a light tan because honey is not yellow. Like if you get real honey, it's kind of a brownish looking thing. So is their hive is kind of brown. So I'm just using this. I got it at Walmart. You can use whatever you feel you want. So I'm just going to go in and carefully paint this, and I have to switch to use smaller paint brushes to get in my little corners, but I get this done. So yeah, you'll see in just a second. It will be miraculously finished. Okay, so now I'm going to paint my bees. So this is just a darker yellow, and I'm just going to outline with my paintbrush and paint my little bees yellow. I'm going to do this on both bees. Now I'm just going to go in with a black furniture marker that I got from the Dollar Tree and just draw my lines in. These don't have to be perfect. It's just easier for me to draw them than to paint little lines. So I'm going to do this to both bees, and then I am also going to paint their antennas black. Now I'm just going to take a fine point Sharpie, and I'm going to add some little detail and some stitch marks around his wings and his body, just to give him a little emphasis, if that's a word. I don't know. But anyways, I wasn't really happy looking at it, with the eyes and the mouth. I thought it was kind of childish, which might be true because that's what my little grandson over there told me to do. And but anyways, I end up getting rid of that, covering that up. Okay, now I have this stencil that I made, and this is Oracle 631. You can use stencil vinyl too. This is something that I'm trying, okay, and when I get it down, I will show y'all how to do it, I promise. These are so much fun, but like I said, I'm still tweaking it and working on the process. So when I get it down pat, I will show you how to make these stencils for yourself. But anyways, I'm just going to put this down. I will tell you, you do not want to use permanent vinyl ever on these stencils because it won't come up. It's just, the cheap vinyl, what is it? Wall vinyl, removable vinyl. Yeah, that's it. And then I'm using my DIY chalk paste, and I will share that with you when I show you the stencils as well. I have a homemade DIY chalk paint recipe in my videos. I'll try to remember to link that down below. It is awesome, y'all. So I'm just going to finish this out, and then I'll show you how it looks. Okay, so here we go. Like I said, y'all remember I'm still working on this, okay? So when I go to pull it off, it is like using stencil vinyl or removable. Removable when you cut it and put it on with nothing on it. So some of my little hive pieces were left behind, but that's no problem, okay? I am just going to take a weeder tool and I'm going to pick all these off, no problem. Make sure if you do this, do not touch your paint or let it dry. I do find sometimes that I've done this in the past. When I let it completely dry, it'll peel my paint up with it. So this is why I do it wet. So this is what it looks like now. And it kind of reminds me of a soccer ball, but I don't know. You know it's a hive. Okay, so it'll be cute when I'm done. So I'm just going to take this decal that I printed and cut out on my silhouette cameo, and I'm going to try to stick this down. I want it all the way to the side because I'm going to stick that hive on there as well. So excuse me. So I'm just going to squeegee this down and then remove my transfer, and then we'll go from there. Once I got that down, I'm just going to take this little roller I got in the makeup section at the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to push this vinyl down and roll it out real good. This thing is very helpful, especially if you don't have a normal roller thing. Now I'm just going to position this down, and I'm going to take my wood hot glue, and I'm going to glue this down. To make sure this stays, I'm going to use some Quick and Thick Tight Bond. Y'all, I have not been able to find this at Lowe's, so I have it linked in my Amazon store, so I can purchase it as well, because this is the best wood glue, in my opinion, that I have ever had. But I'm just going to use the wood glue from Surebonder, and then my Quick and Thick, and I'm going to put this on there down in the corner. I don't know why I was flipping it back and forth. My brain is crazy sometimes. But anyways, it's down there, and I barely got my honey to show. But, it's all right. It works out. So I'm going to add my string back before I add a bow, because I want to make sure that, the bow's not covering up where I want to put this in. Because I have to put the bow at the top as far as I can so that it's not covering up my wording. Found this beautiful ribbon at Hobby Lobby. So I'm just going to make a simple bow. You can't get nothing big on here because there's no room. So I'm just going to fold it over, pinch it, and make me a little like bow tie bow or tuxedo bow, whatever you want to call it. So I'm just going to pinch it up, and then I'm going to take a piece of twine and wrap it around a couple times, holding it in the back, and then that's how I'm going to tie my bow. Now all I'm going to do is glue it right there. I'm going to glue my string down so that it doesn't move, put glue over the whole thing, and then just add my little bow, making sure that I don't cover up my wording. Then I'm going to take a piece of that thin jute string that you buy at the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to tie a little mini micro bow to go on the side of one of my little bees. And you can see on the bees that I painted over their faces because I really did not like that look. So that is all I'm going to do to this, and this is done. So I got this at Hobby Lobby in the clearance section a while back, and I didn't need a Y, but it screamed DIY. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to use Rust-Oleum chalk paint to cover up that Y. This took about 3,000 coats, people. No, I'm just kidding. It took 3 to 4 to 5 coats. I can't even remember. I just kept painting and painting and painting to cover up this black Y. So since my paint on there was so thick, it was bumpy. So I just sanded it off a little bit and then gave it a little bit of distressing on the edges. Now I'm going to take one of these galvanized pieces from the crafter square, and I am going to be using my tin snips. Y'all, I just bought these not long ago and I've never used those. It was a little intimidating to say the least, but I got it. But I will tell you that this was sharp. So I'm laying this down and I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to mark where I need to cut it, because once I put this down, I'm going to forget which ridge it was. So now that I've got it marked, I'm going to take these snips and I'm going to carefully cut through as far as I can go without bending it up. Then I'll flip it around and I'll start going on the other side. And this had a little lip on it I had to sand off. So be careful, because this is a little sharp. Like I said, once you cut this, it's sharp. So I'm sanding my edges to try to resolve that issue so I won't get cut. We are sanded, and if you heard that noise in the background, I apologize. My dog had an itch, okay, and she's very noisy. But anyways, I'm just going to take this and I am going to mark the middle where I need to try to bend it. And this bent super easy. All I did was place that mark down on that crease. I don't know if you can see it, but anyways, when I pushed down, it just bent so easy. And once I get that on, or actually I didn't put it on yet, because it has a lip on it. So I'm going to wait on that. So I'm going to grab my little decal. This stuff is so easy to weed. It is Caesar PVC, I think is what it is. I get this at Michael's. And then this little picker, there's one in those little tools, and one is super skinny and sharp. And it is so easy to weed this. You poke it, pull up, and it's out. I love this stuff. It goes on sale at Michael's, and I grab it there if I don't buy it somewhere online. Then I'm just going to take my used transfer tape that I had earlier. This stuff is super sticky, so it works a couple times at least. I'm just going to squeegee this down real good, pull my backing off. Then I'm going to place it down where I want it on my house, and then squeegee it down and peel my transfer tape back. Y'all have seen this a million times. But I made this design in my Cameo or Silhouette Studio and cut it out with my Cameo. And you can do the same with your Cricut. This is just, I only have a Cricut Joy, so I primarily use my Silhouette Cameo. So anyway, once that's down, I am just going to take my Waverly ink and I'm going to pounce it on that paper that I used, and I'm just going to distress this around the edges, and then I'm going to drag my brush across it just to put some distress marks on there. Now, if you're not into the distressing thing, don't distress it. That's your choice. It's optional. It's yours. Do what you want to. This is just the way I do things, okay? So now that that is done, I am going to use a combination of glues to glue my roof down. In my opinion and past experiences, I haven't been able to get hot glue to work on metal. So I'm going to put my E6000 down for a permanent hold, and I'm just going to put my high temp hot glue in the middle for a, to make it stick so my other glue will dry. So that's that, and I'm going to now take some of my Tim Holtz Distressing ink, And I have this linked in my Amazon store, and my roof was too shiny. So I'm just going to take my finger and I'm going to rub this ink all around on the roof. I have this bag of, I guess, grapevine wreaths that I've had in my stash forever. A dear friend gave them to me. And I'm just going to glue one of these little hearts to the top. And then I am going to make a teeny tiny bow with skinny ribbon and add to the middle of the heart. And that is all I am going to do with this one. My husband laughed. He thought this was cute. So this one, I have this little mini chalkboard tag. It was a, I guess, ornament. You know, it had a string on it. I don't know. So I cut that string off. And then I have another saying that I did on my Cameo. Like I said, you can do these on your Cricut as well. Just type in your wording and, you know, you're good. I'm going to take a piece of that transfer tape, and all you're going to do after you weeded this is just take it off, stick it down, and you're done. You have a cute little sign. I am distressing it just a little. You know, I don't like to leave nothing alone. I like it I like it dirty and distressed, because that's my style. If it ain't yours, don't do it. To each his own, right? Right. So anyways, make sure you measure whatever you're putting this on, and you can draw a little square out either in your Cameo or your Cricut Design Space and size it to your project, and then you can put your wording inside that and it will fit in your whatever you're putting it on every time, because you're matching it to the same size. So anyway, all I did was take my little stick, pink tool thing, whatever, and put this vinyl down. My O did not come off because the paper was still stuck to it and I didn't know it. So I eventually get that separated and get it put down. So yeah. So hold on just 1 second while I fix this. Got my O down and it looks good. And I'm just going to attach a Jenga block on here to make it stand up. Now, you cannot get any easier than this, people. And it's a cute little chalkboard sign. All right. On this one, I have this mini cutting board, and I got it at Christmas time and just hoarded it in my stash and didn't do anything with it. So I'm going to take some wood filler, and I'm going to run it all over this Noel, and I'm going to do this a couple times. And then I'm going to sand it down and make it flush. I'm not going to be using that side, but I'm going to take some of this chalk paint. It's Rust-Oleum, like I said. And I'm going to get a chippy brush, and I'm going to do a kind of heavy but not complete coat on both sides of this cutting board, sides and all, and just get it distressed like I like it. Now I'm just going to dry it with my heat gun. I got that at Harbor Freight. And then I'm going to take these rub-on transfers that I got from the Dollar Tree, and these are so easy. I think they're easier than the other ones, but I like both. But I like this little bee, and so I'm going to put that on my little cutting board. I tried to use my scraper, but that didn't work. This pink tool will work, but I don't know. I didn't like the way it felt. So the best thing I found was I cut the end off of a popsicle stick, or tongue depressor, craft stick, whatever you want to call it. And the curved part works very well. And the shortness of this is easy to handle. So this is my favorite method of putting these transfers down now. So all you do is rub them on. Now when you flip this around, do not move your transfer. These don't stick. So you have to hold them in place very carefully or you're going to mess it all up. And just work from one end to the other, and there you go. Beautiful. These look so vintage, and I absolutely love them. I wish they would come out with more designs. That would be awesome. But anyways, now I'm just going to take a couple of the bees, and I am carefully going to put them on. They are tiny, so they're a little bit harder to rub, but I'm just going to place a couple bees on here, rub them down, and then I'm going to embellish it, just a little simple thing. I'm going to take this small gingham, buffalo check, whatever you want to call it. This is gingham to me. Buffalo check is big. And all I'm going to do is tie a little bow on here. I got this at Hobby Lobby when it was on sale. It goes on sale every other week, so you have to check their app or their page. But I'm just tying a little bow, and then I'm going to cut my tails off, and then I'm going to glue my tails down so that they don't move and cover up my little bees. Okay, so I had this little rolling pin. It was also obviously a ornament, and I had it in my stash. I am trying to craft my stash because you know how gas is. I'm not even going to talk about that. And then, you know, prices went up, so I'm not really going anywhere shopping too much, so I'm crafting my stash. But I'm just going to take yellow, and I'm going to paint the base of this rolling pin. And then I am going to take black, and I'm going to paint my handles. And this is just acrylic paint from Walmart. Well, the yellow is. The black I got at Hobby Lobby, I think. Maybe Walmart, I don't know. But it's a different brand, and it's a little thicker. I like it better than the Walmart paint. But anyway, it is what it is. So now I've got this transfer. I'm trying to use this transfer because it's all about the bees. And so I'm going to take this honeycomb pattern, okay, and I am going to wrap it around the yellow part. This was funny when I got done, and I'll tell you why when you see it. So all I'm going to do is wrap this around, and I'm going to take my little stick once I get it lined up, and I'm just going to smush it down. And for the sake of this video being so long, because this is a lot of DIYs, I'm going to cut this part out because you've seen me do transfers before. Okay, so big reveal, and this got me tickled. It looks like a corn cob. I don't know. Yes, I say tickled. I'm from the north, and up there we all just got tickled. But anyway, I'm just going to take and just tie a knot. You know, it's not big enough for a bow, so I'm just going to tie a little raggy knot in here and then let it hang. But this is supposed to be a bee hive, but yeah, like I said, it still looks like corn cob. Either way, there it is, my mini pin. Okay, you got it. Okay, for this one, I'm taking one of these boxes from Michael's, and I sublimated on a napkin from the Dollar Tree. This is a bit tricky to get your colors out right, but anyway, I did it. So I'm just going to set my napkin in here before I do anything. This has a hole in it, which I don't understand. But anyway, I had to, you know, add a border to try to cover that hole up. So I'm just going to push it in, and I'm going to get my creases. I'm going to use my pink tool that I get from the Dollar Tree. I use these things all the time, y'all. I love these pink tools. I have them in every area of my craft room. It's sectioned off. My daughter wants me to do a video because I actually redone it. But y'all, I seriously got to clean it before I ever do that video. Y'all see my desk? That's my room, my organized chaos. Okay, so yeah. Anyway, on with the video. So I'm just going to take this pink tool from the Dollar Tree because I love these things. And I'm going to gently press around the sides to give me a cut line. And then I'm simply going to take scissors once I pull this out. See that little cut line? And I'm going to cut along that line. And I'm also going to take the hardware off the back. So now I have the hardware off so it's flat so I can work with it. Okay, now I'm just going to put that over there and save it because you never know. And I'm going to take my yellow paint. I prefer the darker yellow than the brighter yellow, but you do your yellow if you want to do yellow, okay? And I'm just going to carefully go on the edge of this, on the inside. Okay, I'm going to try not to get it on the bottom because it is a napkin that I subbed on. So it's a napkin. So it will show through. So I don't want no yellow on there to make it, come through. Now, painted the inside, outside, and all around, and then painted the edges black. I'm going to lay this in there and position it carefully. I'm using tweezers to help me move it around. Then I am going to peel it in half, okay? I'm going to peel it in half. This spray glue is awesome, but mine won't spray anymore. I've tried to clean it out and everything. I get it at the Dollar Tree, so I can't. So I'm just going to use a brush, and I'm going to brush it on. This gets it a little more even and where you want it, not splattering everywhere anyway. So, it works for me. So I'm just going to add my glue. And I'm only going to do half at a time, okay, while it's still sitting in there. And then I am going to carefully pull this back, and I've got something holding the other side down, and just tap it. You don't want to push, you'll rip your napkin. Just tap, tap, tap. And as you can see, I put something in there to weight it down. Now you can use a sponge. I can't get one in there, so I'm using my sponge brush to tap it down. Then I carefully peel back and do the other side the same way. Now when I add these to my tray, it's not against the wall, it's in the middle of my table so you can see both sides. So a lot of times I like to do double projects. So I'm just going to take this scrapbook paper, and I got it from a paper pack, but you can pick paper up loosely at any craft store. And I'm just going to set this down, and then I'm going to get a fine pen because my pencils aren't sharpened. And I'm going to trace around this, and then I'm going to cut it out. And I apologize for my mic cord hanging down over there. I don't know how that slipped down, but there it is. Now I'm just going to take my favorite stick glue, and I am going to run it all over this, back and forth, to make sure it gets in the grooves. And I'm just going to lay my paper down and glue it down. One thing about this glue that I love is you can peel it up if you don't get it positioned just right, because we all know that Dollar Tree doesn't build things even, okay? So apparently when I cut this out, I had it flipped the wrong way. So I'm just going to play with it and get it maneuvered until I get it on right, and then I'm going to roll it down with my little makeup roller. And anything that I did not get at the Dollar Tree will be linked in my Amazon store if you wish to purchase that. There's a link in my description box below, by the way. But anyway, now I'm going to it still wasn't even, so I'm just going to take my mat. I got it at Walmart. I love this mat, the size and everything. And then I'm just going to take my finger knife, which you can use any knife, X-Acto knife, whatever you prefer, and I'm just going to trim the edges. Once I get that all trimmed, I'm going to put my stuff away. And I'm going to take the back, and I am going to take the rub-on transfer once again. I love these flowers on this one, so I'm going to cut out the flowers. They fit absolutely perfect on this little Michael's sign. So I'm just going to set that down on there, and I'm going to squeegee it on. Easy peasy. You can't get no easier than that. It's got the bees on it as well. So I'm going to position it where the bees are actually on the thing. Even if I have to cut off a little bit of the rope down there at the bottom, that's fine with me. I want my bees instead of the rope. So I'm just going to squeegee this down and show you what it looks like. It's so beautiful. I love it. Okay, now I'm going to take this, and I'm going to take some matte Mod Podge that I get these little bottles at the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to go around the edges especially, and then I'm going to carefully go over the whole thing so that it seals my little napkin. And here it is, all finished and dry, and I love it. Now I'm going to take, this is a piece of tissue paper that I subbed on. It's easy, but like I said, I still got tweaking to do to show you. But anyway, I'm going to take this this fence that I found at the Dollar Tree. It was in my stash. I'm going to take one of these round ovals. I got this in a pack at Hobby Lobby. And I'm taking everything off of my sign because I don't want to hang it. I mean, off my fence. And then I have one of the smaller wooden crates from the Dollar Tree. And once I get this disassembled, I am going to take this Dollar Tree acrylic paint, okay, is junk. I'll just tell you, it's junk. I tried to make chalk paint with it. It's junk. Junk, junk, junk. But it does work well for a whitewash. So I am just going to put this on my fence and give it like a little whitewash look. If you want to use it as paint, you're going to need a bazillion coats or you're going to see right through it. It's that thin. I'll show you right. You can see. But anyways, there it is. So I'm going to set that aside and I'm going to work on my crate. I'm just going to take Waverly wax and a wipe like I normally do, and I'm going to wipe this crate down inside and out except the bottom because we won't see that. So I'm going to do that, and this is what it looks like. So I am now going to take this piece, and I went around the edge with Waverly wax while I had it. And I'm going to paint this white. I'm checking it with paper now. Yeah, you can see it better when you have it on a white surface. So I'm just going to take and put 5,000 coats of this white on there until I get it. Okay, it's painted and dried. Y'all, the struggle this day, I'm telling you. The life of a crafter. Yeah, okay. Anyway, I'm just going to take my wonderful stick glue and I'm going to smear it all over this oval. And then I'm going to line up my tissue on there and smush it down. When that's dry, I'm just going to take one of my good old sanders and I'm going to sand this off. This is the easiest way to remove the tissue paper, napkins, paper, anything. It looks clean when you're done and I love it. So now I am just going to take my box and my fence and I want it back here. And I am going to take a combination of my Type Bond wood glue and hot glue. And I want the wood glue for permanent, hot glue for temporary, just to hold it. And I'm going to glue this on the back. Now I'm going to take a piece of floral foam, and I normally get that from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to shove it in there. It fits real tight and nice, so yeah. So then I'm just going to take some of this moss. I also got this moss from the Dollar Tree, but you can get it at Hobby Lobby about the same price now by, you know, the amount in the bag or whatever. It's a little bit higher, but you get more, is what I'm saying. And I'm just going to glue this down in there just to cover up my floral foam, and then I'll trim it because it's poking out everywhere. And then I am just going to take some florals, and these Baby Breath I'm pretty sure I found at Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to pick some off and glue them down. Be careful when you're doing this so you don't get burnt. But I'm just going to glue these sporadically, and then those pink ones I got at the Dollar Tree as well. But the yellow ones, I love those flowers, and I get them when they go on sale at Hobby Lobby. Once again, their florals go on sale every other week, so you'll just have to watch their ads or whatever. If you watch their ads for everything, you'll be going to Hobby Lobby once every week, you know, because it's all, you know, 1 week this, 1 week that, 1 week this, but, you know, they want you to keep coming back, that's for sure. But anyways, I'm just going to glue these down in there until it makes me happy. And this makes me happy. Now, to put the sign here, to put the sign there. I think I like it better on the bottom. You can see it better. So I'm just going to take and glue that down. And of course, you know me, I have to get my Waverly wax and distress it. So I'm just using a chippy brush, pouncing, and just putting my wax wherever I think it looks good. And I'm going to do this till it makes my eyes happy. This one is super simple and super cute. So I'm not sure if I got this birdhouse at the Dollar Tree or Walmart. I do know Walmart has them, and they are only $1.98, something like that. Anyways, so wherever you choose to get your birdhouse. And I'm just going to paint the house itself yellow, okay? So front, back, sides, yellow. After the base of the house is painted yellow, I'm going to take black, and I am carefully going to go around the edges of the roof, but I'm not going to put paint on the roof itself. I'm also going to paint the bottom base of this, like I said, carefully using a fine, flattest brush I can find, and I'm going to paint that stub coming out of the middle. Now I've got those pieces painted and it looks like this, and I'm going to take some Dollar Tree permanent vinyl, and this will be in Buffalo Check, and I'm just going to lay this down. I'm actually going to go over to my paper trimmer. I don't have room for it on this desk, so I got to go to my other table, and I'm going to cut a little piece out just to make this, you know, easier to cut. So I'm going to go over there and I'm going to cut my pieces, and I'll bring them back, and all you got to do is line this up and just measure from your little roof there. Whatever roof you have, your measurements will be different, I'm sure. But all you got to do is lay your paper down and then just trace around to get your measurements. And that's what I'm going to do to get my roof pieces. And once you have those cut, it's just as simple as peeling and stick like a sticker. That's it. All you got to do is make sure you have them lined up and even. Once I have them on both sides, I'm going to take this little tongue depressor thing that I cut and I use for a scraper, and I'm going to carefully rub all this down to stick it. Once I get the roof on, I am going to take and cut out a couple of bees and just squeegee them down and transfer them to the front of my little house. I thought I put both bees on here at one time, but I didn't. But anyways, I'm going to take some jute. You can use any size jute you want, but the smaller looks better. And I'm just going to glue this all the way around this hole. Now, after I burnt my finger, I added my second bee on there, and I'm going to take one of these sunflowers, and I'm pretty sure, I think I got these at Walmart, actually. I might have got them at the Dollar Tree, I don't know. I get so many florals and flowers, I forget where I get them. But I'm going to cut the back off, and I'm going to take a piece of that moss, and I'm going to roll it up in my fingers to, just try to shape it. And then I'm going to glue it to the top, make sure it's glued down, And then I'm going to stick that flower right in the middle. That's just that simple. Okay, I didn't show it on here, but I added moss all the way around and then put some of those little blue, they said they're baby's breath flowers around it. Okay, now I'm going to take one of these honey sticks that I got from Hobby Lobby in their spring shop, and I'm just going to add a butt ton of normal hot glue all over this and make it look like it has got honey dripping down from it. Be careful you do not get burned. Once my glue dried, I gave it 2 coats or 3 coats of yellow paint. Now this last one is so stinking simple, but it came out so beautiful. So I had this wall sticker for forever from Dollar Tree, and then I used one of their wood planks. To make it show up, I'm going to paint my plank with white chalk paint. You can use whatever paint you have. I just find white really works best to make your design show up. So I'm just going to paint my board white. I'm going to take my hand sander and sand this down smooth as I can get it. And then I am going to distress the sides just a little bit. It really don't distress much because my DIY paint is thick, y'all. After I got it sanded, I wiped it down real good with a rag. And all I'm going to do is place my sticker down. Now, once these stick, they're stuck. Let me just tell you. So, there it is. And then I am going to take a chippy brush and my white paint. And I'm going to dry brush over this to try to blend in the sides a little bit. Going a little heavier on the sides. And then I will take my Waverly wax and distress my piece. If you don't want to, don't do it. I'm not even going to show you because you know how I do it. This is what it looks like, and I'm just going to take this ribbon that I got from Hobby Lobby actually in the Christmas clearance, but you can buy this buffalo check or gingham, whatever you want to call it, any time of the year. And I'm just going to make a simple bow and then glue it to the top after I put my string back in. There it is on top, and I'm just going to take a lighter because of this ribbon and singe the ends so that it doesn't fray. I'm going to make a bow tutorial very soon, so I will have that for you so you can see how I do all of my bows. But that's it for this one. So this is a look at everything I made, and this is what it looks like on the tray. I don't have a lot, but I mean, this is just what I made. This video is like long, so you know, it took me a minute. I'll zoom in. There's my little house. My tray is a little short. Some have taller trays. I love that cutting board thing. I love them all. There's my honey. My husband loved that sign, y'all. I think I told you before. And then this, you know, since it's on the top, it has this on the back. That made me blurry. I thought I was going to throw up for a minute. Okay, and then there's my one sign. Home is where my honey is. And there's my other little simple sign. And there is my garden. Oh, honey, flower farm. I thought that was cute. But anyway, that's my DIYs all done. I hope you enjoyed them. I'm not sure which was my favorite. Comment and let me know what your favorite is. I'd love to know. Until next time, goodbye.